I wonder, Over the Limit is a nice name and all, but what exactly qualifies as over the limit in any of these matches tonight?
How far will one go?
As far as he needs to go.
John Cena can't beat me!
Even though he has, twice by this point. Previously on, something that never happened as far as the record books are concerned regarding the Intercontinental Championship. Matt Hawk Hardy. Can barely see anything. Who's smoking pot again?
Kofi is
I hate you, Barricade. Take that!
the championship changed hands.
Wow, early on in the commentators are really not having a good start to the night.
He has a 5 count. He's already up to 7. Disqualify him.
Well, let me stop you right there, Matt. The referee wasn't at the count of 7 whatsoever. He was at least the 2 count. Also, you are telling Kofi Kingston to disqualify himself. Last I checked, Kofi was a wrestler in this match, not the referee.
And Kofi, great balance, landed on the second rope.
Kofi is clearly on the bottom rope, not the middle.
Where's Mr. McMahon? Where is he?
What can Mr. McMahon do about a fair victory, Matt? Kofi defeated Drew fair and square, so there's honestly nothing Vince can do about this case. Also, I find it funny how Drew was stripped of the title and subsequently fired 2 weeks previous, got the title back immediately upon being reinstated, all just to lose it a week later. That is what you call hilarious.
Kofi Kingston takes us over the limit.
How? How does this qualify as going over the limit? I don't get it.
Until Teddy Long reverses the decision.
If Teddy Long were to reverse the decision on a fair victory, Kofi would have every right to sue WWE. So the way I see it, Drew McIntyre wants to secretly destroy the WWE. Dun dun dun! Post-match assault. Also, Drew's title reign had been broken, now his spirit has been broken. Who is the most glorious sinner of them all? Previously on WWE. This match between R-Truth and Ted DiBiase only exists because Truth refused to be Ted's Virgil 3 weeks ago.
Well, Ted DiBiase was in that match at WrestleMania this past year.
This past year was 2009, and from what I saw, Ted was not in any match at WrestleMania 25.
Which people are better?
Fuck you. Seriously? Ted's going to start monologuing now? I get that he's a great talent in the ring, but I think I can see why WWE eventually threw him down the drain.
Jack DiBiase.
Wait, what? Jack DiBiase? Who the hell is Jack DiBiase?
Mr. Truth and the flexibility.
Ted was watching R-Truth the whole time and could have moved out of the way at any moment.
Trouble here. Oh!
Well, that was the softest suplex stunner that I have ever seen in my life. Surprised that Ted was even affected by it at all.
This tells Ted that R-Truth is not for sale.
If Ted thought that R-Truth was for sale, he's racist.
I can't imagine anyone getting either of those guys to say I quit.
Except for the fact that John Cena never quits because blah 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 bullshit Superman.
Teddy!
Well,
Interrupting phone calls.
You can do that, and you will.
Drew McIntyre inspires Roman Reigns' I can and I will phrase. By being a complete whiny bitch, Drew McIntyre also inspires the creation of the Kylo Ren character, because that's all Kylo ever was in Star Wars.
He is perfect in every way.
And yet he still hasn't headlined WrestleMania. The shaving cream is on display, yet it is never used in this match. Also, why is the barber's chair at ringside here while it was on the stage at Extreme Rules? What prompted the change of venue? Oh, my kill switch!
The straight up society, why not allow them to be with CM Punk?
Maybe because they would have an unfair advantage over Rey Mysterio and potentially help CM Punk win the match? Hello?
Rey Mysterio has the entire WWE Universe in his corner.
That's your excuse? That Rey has the fans in his corner? Good luck trying to ban the fans from this arena, Matt. Also, the fans are not technically in Rey's corner because they are not allowed over the barricade no matter what the general manager says.
I referred to them as lemmings. Isn't he in Motorhead?
That would be Lemmy that was in Motorhead, not Lemmings. Pyro was sadly late for the party. Wow, Rey actually fell for that.
Former world champion as well.
Punk hits the barricade, which somehow cuts him open despite hitting small padding. My only guess is Punk bladed, which is always a sin from my view.
Edge lifestyle. Oh.
I just now realized that this was an event where at least one wrestler suffered an injury per match, because from what I understand, Rey legit got hurt from this. Might explain why this was a horrible pay-per-view because everyone kept getting injured all the time.
Good.
Matt Striker's stupid cheerleading. Also, Matt condones possible concussions or neck injuries. Then again, 2 months later, he was literally begging Jack Swagger to break Rey's ankle. Point is, Matt must have something personal against Rey Mysterio. I'm on to you, man. This match stops because of Punk's bleeding and not because of Rey's possible neck injury. And I'm just going to get it over with and add in 3 sins because this match stoppage lasts 3 goddamn minutes.
You're biased.
And you're not? Fuck you, Matt.
Come now, listen to this.
I think that's literally replay number 5 of this moment.
You thought Punk was going to lose his hair at WrestleMania, and he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't, but that was because Punk's hair wasn't even on the line at WrestleMania. It was just Rey's pledge to the SES that was on the line. It was Extreme Rules where Punk's hair was on the line.
Stereo. Top.
Punk was already starting to fall before Rey could even connect with the seated senton.
If not, the hair will go and the chest hair.
Well, sadly no. Punk's chest hair was not on the line of the agreed stipulation. It was just the hair on his head, which, like I mentioned before, could mean that Rey can shave Punk bald, shave his facial hair, and even his eyebrows if he wanted to.
Has a... Oh! Mysterio with a counter!
Boy, that escalated quickly. That was one of the most out-of-nowhere victories I have ever seen. And I'll remove a sin for that sudden victory because it caught me off guard.
This is not going to change the outcome of the match. If Rey can't shave Punk's head...
The ruling was that Punk must get his head shaved, period. Never said anything about Rey being the one to do it. Rey only offered to shave Punk's head. Official stipulation is that Punk gets his head shaved if he lost, so no, this doesn't change the outcome of the match. I'm legit afraid of what the Straight Edge Society's motives were with those handcuffs. Their reasons for bringing out handcuffs is never revealed, but I'm literally afraid to ask what they were about to do.
The anti-diva Serena.
Anti-diva? What's that supposed to mean? Serena's honestly hotter than all the divas at this time.
Oh!
Kane's involvement in this segment is one of the most random things I've seen in a long time, to be honest. Like, he wasn't even part of the Punk-Mysterio feud or had a problem with the SES at the time. So what the hell was he doing out here? There's literally no reason for his involvement. So, randomness.
And Mysterio has handcuffed Punk!
Isn't Rey supposed to shave Punk's head on the barber's chair? Why the ring apron? Just curious.
CM Punk, you're the one that brought those handcuffs out here!
Actually, it was Luke Gallows that brought the handcuffs to the ring, not Punk.
This has been a long time.
There, while I shave her head, why don't you lay your face on my great balls of fire?
He's doing a great job.
No, he's not. Guaranteed Punk's back must be itchy as fuck with all that hair on it. Also, I'm immediately adding in 10 sins for literally the worst haircut I've ever seen. I was originally going to add in 5, but I also realized that Rey didn't even follow through with the stipulation. This was a haircut, not a head shave. Sure, a big part of Punk's head was shaved, but almost the entire back of his head still has hair attached. Plus, Rey was shaving Punk's head like a freaking maniac without even knowing what he was doing. Worst haircut ever. It's funny that the fans are chanting shave his chest, but what they should really be chanting is you're not done, because Rey is not even close to finishing up the head shave.
CM Punk looks small.
Rey Mysterio was now likely saving the hair to add a voodoo doll of Punk just so he can mess with him for eternity.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the baldest of them all?
Clearly not Punk because he's not bald whatsoever. Plus, Punk's likely only yelling because he looks worse than he would if he was bald.
Really? You guys are doing the hair clipper sound effect.
Matt Striker would be great at Cinema Sins 2 expansion.
We're going all the way.
Ha! Giggity!
Miz was left with nothing when Bret Hart took his United States Championship.
That was major bullshit, 100%. I had no idea that Natalya was also a WWE Tag Team Champion. Are the Hart Dynasty using the Freebird rule here? LOL. Previously on the most bullshit US title victory in the history of WWE. Like, seriously.
Shouldn't the US champion at least be born in the United States?
Exactly! That's what I've always been saying about the WWE United States Championship. If it's a title of the USA, then the only competitors that should win the title are Americans. Does this mean that anyone can win the WWE United Kingdom Championship or the Cruiserweight Championship?
Talk about attention-starved, want to steal the spotlight.
The only person that was stealing the spotlight was Bret Hart because while he is one of the most legendary Canadian wrestlers, his time is done, and the spotlight should always stay on the stars of today, not the stars of yesterday.
I would live in Manhasset over Winnipeg any day of the week.
Matt Striker is a dick to Manitoba.
What's it here? And Jericho!
Codebreaker may not have been to the face, but a codebreaker right to the chest is just as devastating, so I'll remove a sin for quite the timing.
And look at Italia! Referee!
The fans actually condoned that. I hate cheaters.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Miz's attempted copyright infringement. Natalya also holding up the championship titles as though she actually is the champion. I still wonder whether the Hart Dynasty was using the Freebird rule here. Pyro is late for the party for the second time tonight. 30 seconds of silence before Randy Orton's music plays. Orton vs. Edge equals dream match sign. Why is that a sin? Because this match has happened many times before and is no longer a dream match if it has happened. A dream match is a match that has never happened before. Sting vs. Taker, Styles vs. HBK, those are examples of dream matches. Edge vs. Orton, not so much. 54 seconds of waiting for these two to actually lock up.
Because with the Fatal 4 pay-per-view...
Fatal 4 pay-per-view? I think he meant to say Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view, which is also one of the dumbest pay-per-view ideas I had ever heard next to this one and the upcoming Raw pay-per-view this July. The referee should have counted 5 at that point, but instead decided to tell Randy to get off Edge. Do your job.
Top staying close.
Randy, why would you stomp on the ring apron like that? What do you got against ring aprons?
And now Edge.
Whoa, stop trying to expose Randy, Edge. That's not cool, man.
I like to call Orton the Viper because we compare him with that steak.
You call Randy the Viper because you compare him to a steak? How does a viper and a steak even go together in the first place in any comparison? There's those masks that CM Punk wore being worn by fans in the crowd. But there's one issue here. This takes place before Punk even wore a mask, considering this is the night that he got his head shaved. So in my opinion, WWE just spoiled what was happening to Punk in the merchandise stands.
Is ready to strike.
Man, I feel bad for Randy as he legitimately dislocated his shoulder from that build-up. This could have been a great match, but sadly it was ruined by this injury.
And the referee, I believe.
It's a shame that this match had to end the way it did. I actually was worried about Randy when this happened, considering the mood had become increasingly dark in the last 2 minutes of this match. The only reason the Big Show got a world title match was because he was drafted to SmackDown from Raw. That's literally the only reason, which does not qualify as earning your shots.
I really don't like to brag.
Haha, yeah right.
Best friend. Oh, and we hung out a lot.
I'm afraid to ask the activities of you hanging out with your best friend a lot, especially with that creepy smile. Oh yeah, Big Show nearly killed me when he kicked that football into the crowd on that night.
Did you know that Jack Swagger scored a 50?
Don't care, Matt. Completely irrelevant to this match.
Grapple! Wow!
And he did. It's Swagger. Look at the look.
Look at
Jack Swagger is actually surprised that Show can wrestle. Just because he's a giant doesn't mean he doesn't know how to grapple and wrestle in the style that you do, Jack.
The face of Swagger says, what do I do?
Copyright infringement?
Look at this. Again. And a kick out.
Nice try, Jack. I saw you throw yourself out of the ring the way your legs moved.
What do you mean, what's he doing?
Absolute bullshit that the WWE World Heavyweight title match ends in a quick disqualification after a 5-minute match. And the previous match that went wrong doesn't help this case either, making this pay-per-view indeed one of the worst that we've seen in recent memory. 5 sins added for this bullshit ending to a very sad world title match. Post-match assault.
the left knee is exposed. Jack attack the knee!
Fuck you, Matt. Adding in another 2 sins for Matt's cheerleading and instructing Jack to continue assaulting Show after this match is already over.
Come on, the chair's illegal!
You were condoning it less than 30 seconds ago, you hypocritical douchebag.
Oh! Down goes Swagger!
The way Matt said, down goes Swagger. Previously on WWE.
Her power to get her Divas Championship.
What the hell is a Divas Championship? Michael Cole, you are making absolutely no sense here tonight. One thing I never got was Eve Torres graphics always says just Eve instead of Eve Torres, despite the ring announcer reciting her last name too.
Cheap shot.
Cheap shot? Jerry, Maryse kicked Eve in the knee while Eve was facing her, not from behind. Now if it was from behind, that'd be considered a cheap shot.
You know, on SmackDown we have two women's champions.
Which is still bullshit, the whole co-women's champions thing with Layla and Michelle McCool.
We've had so many injuries here tonight.
And there's still going to be more too. I think I now found out why this event is called Over the Limit. I never want to wrestle at this event, not if every wrestler is injury prone on that night.
Imagine the pain Maryse must be.
Doesn't look like her ankle is in pain considering she's putting her full weight on it without grimacing in pain.
Yeah.
Whoa, was that French?
Seriously? Do your freaking job is clearly not French. Also, the commentators treat the word freaking like it's a curse word, assholes. John Cena versus Bautista for the 4th pay-per-view in a row. 5th in a row if you want to count their face-off at the Royal Rumble match, which I don't. Bottom line is, this is the 4th freaking pay-per-view in a row that these two faced off one-on-one.
That the victory was creative. Some saw it as an act of cowardice.
John Cena finally wakes up and realizes the truth of his Extreme Rules victory. Also, thanks for the shout-out, John.
There's only one match the two of us can have. An I Quit match.
because I wanted the fans to know who's obviously winning this match. And let's face it, since we know John Cena is never losing an I Quit match to anyone, what's the point of him even competing in these matches? Also, we're going to have to go through the whole I will not quit because I'm Superman bullshit that we see in literally every single I Quit match that John has ever contested. Pending kissing.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I made you say I quit last week.
Ring the bell! This match is over! Dave Bautista just said I quit! The rules of the match states that one of the wrestlers must say I quit into the microphone in order for it to end. And if I'm not mistaken, Dave literally said I quit into the microphone. Doesn't matter how he said it. Point is, he said it, this match is over, John Cena retains the title, and Dave just humiliated himself in his 7-second match.
I don't think so.
Oh!
Dave actually fell for that.
John Cena has never said I quit in his career. He's never tapped out.
Well, I'm adding in 5 sins for that total bullshit, because John Cena has tapped out at least 3 times already in his WWE career. And don't give me that he meant the Super Cena has never tapped out bullshit, because he was still John Cena even back then. So that's no excuse, or I'll double the sin counter again if I have to. Haha, Dave almost forgot that there was no pinfalls in this match.
You know, there's no one that evokes the emotion out of the
Michael Cole's blah 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 speech about John invoking emotion from fans or something cliche.
crowd. Oh my God, there's no way this is possible.
I'd be very impressed with that if we hadn't seen John do that Lord knows how many times over the years.
STF! STF!
I had to say it twice in case you don't know what the submission was called the first time. Just had to clarify.
No rules in this match.
First, Dave forgets that there are no pinfalls in this match. Now he forgets that there's no rope breaks in this match either. Sure, this is his first I Quit match, but does he not know how this match even works?
Do you want to quit?
Nope, he's dead. Reap.
We're gonna put Cena away.
Normally the commentators use the phrase looking to put his opponent away when they're referring to pinfalls. Is Michael also forgetting about the rules of an I Quit match? Is everybody forgetting everything?
Do you have any idea what his intentions are?
To make John Cena quit.
No shit, Sherlock. Oh, also, why not? Here's a center mover for that perfectly executed move through the table. This is a long sin video with very few center movers here. Wait a minute, what the fuck? How the hell is John bleeding from his forehead after he got power slammed through the announce table with absolutely nothing hitting his face? Where's the freaking logic in this? My only guess is he was blading, which is always a sin, but another sin is being added because of John flipping off logic. Dave told the referee to ask John if he quits, and the referee doesn't do shit. Showing favoritism here? Stopping a freaking I Quit match just to tend to a little bit of blood. Whatever happened to the good old days when they let the match continue despite the bleeding? Pussies.
Well, let's not forget, no countouts, no disqualifications.
Matt's likely saying that because Michael forgot the other rules of the match.
Say I quit!
Dave has now said I quit twice, yet this match still continues. How convenient that there were a group of security guards down below just on the very case that Dave would fall back into them.
Look out!
That chair shot was so intense we couldn't even hear it and it looked like a slight brush.
How much more can Cena?
Take that, floor! And then this car's engine blew out before Dave could even back up.
Really?
It would be an intense sequence if we didn't see John clearly laying over here. Dave is a dick to walls and light bulbs. Also attempted murder. Dave actually locked the door of the vehicle just to back it up 10 feet. John was in view of the camera for a good 3 to 4 seconds before the commentators actually realized that he was there. What a cringe-filled late reaction. Dave's hands are taking quite the punishment in this match's conclusion, am I right?
I quit!
It's only after Dave said I quit 3 times that the referee finally acknowledged that he said it. After Dave had said it 7 seconds into the start of the match and earlier on the balcony. I guess 3rd time's the charm. Post-match assault. Also, John legitimately injured Dave really badly with that attitude adjustment. Also, he's supposed to be an inspiration and role model to the kids, right? He's basically saying the right thing to do is attempt to viciously murder your opponent after you already won the match.
And the Cena Nation.
It's the C Nation, not Cena Nation, Michael. Michael Cole also forgot what John's name for his fans were.
Oh my God!
Randomness.